Sup, my name is Rudy for TheCouncilNetwork. Welcome to the WWE Monday Night Raw post-show video. Now, it goes without saying that I missed the Tuesday SmackDown last week, and I'm terribly sorry about that. But I won't be missing this week's or the pay-per-view. Make up for it. I just kind of got super swamped, and I didn't have a chance to actually post it. So, Roman Reigns! Yay! Okay, say what you will about Roman Reigns, but the guy is smooth as butter in the ring. There's no other way to really put it. But I don't know. Tonight, the ending for tonight was fantastic. I don't want to just jump onto it, but geez, there's so much to talk about from this Raw. And one of the biggest, weakest points that I do have to address right away is the fact that they waited to hour 3 to feature the Cruiserweights. And that match that the Cruiserweights had was brilliant. I love it. But I hated waiting for it because it felt like it wasn't going to live up to it, and that's not fair to the wrestlers who were in there. They were brilliant in the ring. The four of them put on a great show, and Brian Kendrick going into basically Clash of Champions makes me excited because you got him on this road to redemption. He's not a baby face. I guess he's more of a heel, kind of in the middle. You know, you don't want to go that Dean Ambrose route and make someone a babyface when they're not meant to be a babyface. That's just my opinion. I think Dean works better as a heel, but again, I'm getting a little off topic here. So, Seth Rollins versus Rusev. Double count out. I don't really know how to feel about it because at the same time I was like, okay, if you put these two in the ring, it should be pretty good, right? It was an okay match, but the problem is the finish. You can't let Rusev lose because you're trying to build him up as a monster heel. And you can't let Rollins lose because you want him to be a threat to Kevin Owens and put on a great match on Sunday. So you're in this dilemma of how do we end the match where both of them pretty much go over and look strong enough going into the pay-per-view. Well, double count out. I'm okay with it because it was different than what we typically get. One thing I do have to say is we need less authority figures on Raw. That is killing Raw. This episode of Raw was 10 times better than last week's, and it wasn't dragged down by shitty matches or just too many talking segments. But if they ease up on it a little bit more, I think the 3 hours could be durable. You know, could be okay. But I don't know. Double count out. Still don't know how to feel about that. Then we get to the announcement that Charlotte versus Sasha Banks will now be a triple threat, including Bayley. Could it be that my girl Bayley's going to top and take the championship? I don't know. Because right now, I'm kind of like in the middle of choosing between Sasha and Bayley. Who really deserves it more? Sasha pretty much shouldn't have a loss, and Bayley is super hot as a babyface, so it's kind of hard to say where it's going to go. But I think leading into after Clash of Champions, we're going to see one hell of a freaking three-way for that title left and right. Braun Strowman versus Sin Cara. I just don't like Braun Strowman's matches. I think he would do better if it weren't just... And yes, I call Sin Cara a squash match. That's pretty much what it felt like. Chris Jericho telling Chris Jericho telling Owens the reason Foley is messing with Owens is because they are friends, and Chris Jericho and Owens and Mick Foley is just hating on Chris Jericho, and that's why he's fucking with Kevin Owens. It really just The whole thing with Bayley and Sasha, it works because you want to build up a feud, and this is kind of last minute, so it works for them. I'm okay with it. That was alright. Daniel Brooke, how many times are you going to let her just get smacked down over and over again until she just snaps and says, you know what, Charlie, this time I actually mean it. I don't know, but I feel like Emma's probably going to be close to coming back, so we'll see that pan out. But Charlotte and Daniel Brooke winning pretty much means that Charlotte should be dropping a title on Sunday again for either Sasha or Bayley. I think that's going to happen. I hope it happens, because me personally, I don't like Charlotte as the champion. I think Sasha is probably the best out of the three of them currently, and Bayley is probably the one that goes over the most with the fans. Seth Rollins going into Stephanie McMahon's office. Yeah, see, we need less of this. the Bo Dallas squash match. See, this is what drags down Raw, is when you have these segments after segments of, this is just like, man, I get they're trying to build up Bo Dallas, but the problem is, you had Braun Strowman, then you had the women's match, and the women's match was great. Then you have the Seth Rollins thing, where he goes into Stephanie McMahon's thing, then Bo Dallas, followed by this. The match 6 of the Best of 7 series, Cesaro versus Sheamus. Here's my problem. I say it every week. Cesaro and Sheamus, both great workers. Can I stand watching them 7 fucking times in the ring over and over again? No. It's called repetitive saturation, and this is probably like the 9th match these two guys have had in the span of about a month and a half, and it really drags down the product, because both of these guys, it's a great match, but at the same time, I can't bring myself to enjoy it like I typically would. Another Cesaro win means that we're going to see these two go again on Sunday, and this is one thing that I did not enjoy at all on Monday Night Raw. Chris Jericho with his, heel promo, I'm okay with it. Enzo and Cass coming out, and then the Shining Stars, bang my head against the wall, and of course, New Day and the Club, of course, leading into a giant fucking 4-way match. I guess I'm okay with that, but Chris Jericho, Gallows, Anderson, and the Shining Stars versus the New Day, Enzo, Cass, and Sami Zayn. That is one giant cluster of a thing. And of course, the babyfaces went over, which means if this is anything to go by, we may be seeing the New Days finally dropping the titles to the Club. But I don't know, because the Club hasn't really been built up, at all. Now, here's my next problem. Even though the Cruiserweight match was fantastic, I was trying to hold myself back from saying Cruiserweight Classic, the whole Mick Foley thing, explained it for like 2.5 minutes, he botched hard, man. He botched hard. I mean, if I botch, it sucks, but you know what? I'm just doing a YouTube channel, and that's just how it is. Shit's gonna happen. You're on live Raw television. You're doing it week after week. You have more experience than I do doing it. You can't get away with it. But I like the way he kind of just shrugged it off, where he's like, I said it right, didn't I? I said it right. I like that. So that was okay. But just the whole him dragging it on to get to that Cruiserweight match was just a little bit too much. I'm sorry. After, going into the 3rd hour of Monday Night Raw and finally getting the Cruiserweight Classic, finally getting that Cruiserweight fight, the 4-way to who goes into it Sunday, was just fantastic. At the same time, jeez. Also, I didn't catch his name, but the right hands that man was throwing were just vicious. I loved it. I've never seen a Cruiserweight type person do it. I also like that they have the weight limit of 205, because it actually makes it seem a little bit more legit who's going to be Cruiserweight and who's not. I think that's going to work. But I did say there was a big finish to tonight's episode of Raw that may be leading into something huge, and I want to talk about it now. Kevin Owens versus Roman Reigns in a steel cage, and Roman Reigns did win the match, which I felt was disappointing until what happened after. So Kevin Owens and Roman Reigns had a great match in the cage. I'm not going to deny that, but unfortunately I'm not going to focus so much on the match, because I think what we're about to see is not too far off in the distance, and it's making me really, really hyped. So, of course, Rusev comes out post-match to kind of injure Roman Reigns. That's pretty much what you want to, lead to believe of. For the pay-per-view on Sunday, you want to soften him up. And then, out of nowhere, cue Seth Rollins music, and he comes in and he defends Roman Reigns. This is the full turnaround for Seth Rollins becoming a babyface. And the whole thing with Cesaro and Sheamus having the best of 7, I think whoever loses that match, and my money is probably on Cesaro losing and Sheamus winning, then what's going to happen is that SmackDown and Raw will have a switch of 2 wrestlers. One of those will be most likely Cesaro or Sheamus, and the other on SmackDown, which now I'm hoping it'll be, will be Dean Ambrose. And now, I know that seems crazy to say Dean Ambrose, and I think we're a few more pay-per-views out before this happens, but I think we're going to get a Shield reunion, because what they're probably going to eventually build up to is the Club versus The Shield at WrestleMania 34. Yeah, I said 34 and not 33. Because Finn needs to return, become heel, go with the club. AJ needs to reunite with the club. If Shinsuke and Samoa Joe are going to go with the club, there is a whole stable you can do there. And of course, the 3 Shield members, where the Hounds of Justice is just the 3 of us. We don't need no one else. I'm going a little bit too far ahead there, so let me rewind it. What I think is going to happen now. I think Roman Reigns is going to start teaming with Seth Rollins again, slowly but surely. I think the booking is happening for it, and I think they're going to mend their issues, and it's going to work out great. But Fantastic Raw can way better than last week, I'll say that much. And tonight, I will make sure to record the review for SmackDown, because I've been terrible about it, and I'm terribly sorry. I didn't mean to disappoint you guys, but thank you guys for sticking in there. As always, if you enjoy the content and you're brand new, make sure you hit that subscribe button for more. And I will see you later for another YouTube video here on the Council Network. I don't even know what to say anymore. I'm going to pass out. But thank you guys so much for the support, and I'll see you later. Peace.